Hello, YouTube family. I want to come to you and talk about um, domestic violence. Also, the reason why I want to talk about it because yesterday I was watching a video on a young lady named Bresha Meadows. Some of you may have heard of the young lady. When she was 14, she ended up killing her dad because he was abusive toward his mom, and he well molested his own daughter, the older she got. And well, the story goes like this here. Brisha's mom is a white lady, and her dad is a black man. And Mr. Meadows, I need to know his first name. Let me see, because I'm looking on my phone. Okay, and her father, what did they say his name was? Anyway, his name was Mr. Meadows. And the young girl was 14. She was fed up. Y'all can look it up, go on YouTube and type in Bresha Meadows. This is just strictly just my video. Is my opinion, my take. Some of you may have your own take and what you feel, and some of you may not bother you or not. But domestic violence is close to me because I've been through it before. I dated a guy that I didn't realize I was in a domestic abusive situation until I called my daughter. I said, Candace, I said, I think I'm in an abusive relationship because I'm kind of like I'm short and I'm kind of like your little feisty thing. Hey, listen, I get with you. I mean, I'm saved. I love the Lord, but if somebody push my buttons the wrong way, I back a person off of me. And so this story is not about me, but I just wanted to let you know why domestic violence is close to me because I've been in an abusive relationship and it's not easy getting out of it unless they lay hands on you. For all those who have been abused, whether it's been, you've had women who abuse men. Okay, so this is not just a one track conversation just about women. So, men, I have empathy for you all too because some of y'all can come across some women that's very controlling and could use her womanhood against you via the police. Can lie on you saying that you abused them when you didn't. All you did was love the woman. So I realized domestic abuse can go both ways. But today I'm talking about Bresha Meadows. Ever since she been a little girl, she's seen her mom abused all her life. She testified how when she was 8, her father was the best father in the world. But as she got older and got into her womanhood, she said her father began to molest her. Okay. And of course, his side of the family, the Meadow family, I heard them talking just a little bit on the video about how that they didn't believe that Mr. Meadows was like that, and that they knew he drank, but they didn't, they didn't believe that it was that serious. They feel like the situation just went too far for them, and all that uh, Brescia killing Mr. Meadows, which is her DNA father, that wasn't necessary. Okay. So what ended up happening is he had gotten drunk, laid on the couch, went to sleep. From my understanding, this is his usual. He'll come in from drinking, he'll beat Brisha's mom. Then after he beat her, then he'll lay down on the couch and he had his gun, but he put his gun up under the couch. Okay. So Bresha apparently was scared, y'all. She was scared. Um, she was scared of her father beating her mother again, and she couldn't deal with it. Now let me preface this. Before this happened, she ran away from home and she went to family house. In fact, the mother went to the law. Nothing was done. Supposedly CPS came over because the young lady, Brisha's mother sister called CPS on her sister because she knew her sister was scared to call CPS. So that was just a cry for CPS, to kind of look into the situation. But the mother was glad that CPS came over. And I don't know, they didn't get into real detail as to whether Brescia's mother lied, but the father was there while CPS was there. But it's kind of like they was kind of covering it up, like it wasn't that bad as you think. But it was terrible. So Brescia ran away from home, and she tried, she told her family, and she cried. She said, y'all, she said, I'm scared to go home. I'm scared of what's going to happen, because this is what my dad does all the time to mama. This what he does all the time to me, and he scares the other siblings in the family. So the house was just walking on eggshell. The whole house was just walking on eggshell. So not by any means am I condoning what Brescia did, but because the mother was so scared, the mother had supposedly um, walked away or tried to get out of the relationship at least once, but she let the man back in, and it didn't get no better because she loved him. She had 3 kids for him. She loved him. And that's where domestic violence really get terrible, especially for women, is when they're in love with their abuser. See, when I went through what I went through, I wasn't in love with my abuser. He was just an acquaintance that I met, and I thought he was cool. So I just continued to hang out with him. But he ended up coming out the closet showing who he was. But he didn't realize he had a little feisty one on his hand. But I still had to trust God to maneuver myself out of the relationship. See, I understand when y'all say, well, she shouldn't have married him, why she stayed with him, y'all. In all fairness and in all compassion for women who go through, it's not that simple to walk away, because abusers condition their abusee. It's a conditioning. When you first get to know them, they're very charismatic. They get you to fall in love with them first. Once they see you have feelings, then they come out the closet piece by piece. It'll come out by them hollering and fussing first. Then after that, it's the catching you by the shoulder thing. Then next is pushing you. Then next is slapping you. Then next is punching you. Then next is choking you. And then next it could be possible threatening of your family members, because you got some abusers that kill your family members. And then next it could be death. And so, but if you try to get away, and if you try to get away, they'll tell you something like this, whether it's male or female: if I can't have you, can't nobody else have you. Or if you ever leave me, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill my children. Some of them don't mind killing their children. They kill the whole family. They just check out. But y'all, this is a demonic devil inside these people. It's them, but they are a conduit for an abusive spirit. Now, we can always go back and say, well, how were they raised? What was it like in their family? You know what? It's too late for that now. They're up in age. They are old enough to go to jail for their abusive behavior. You can ask all them questions after you get out the relationship. But what I will say is that with Brescia felt like it, and this is just from my take, y'all. Y'all have to look at Brescia Meadows' documentary for yourself. Uh, she had put up with enough. Her dad had beat her mom. He laid down, went to sleep, put his gun, and she kind of like had because the man had threatened to kill him, and the children had threatened to kill the mama. And Brescia was like, she's tired of this. Brescia just checked out. She snapped. She got the gun from under the couch, and she put the gun to her father's head and took him out. Took him out. Can I be honest? When I was in the abusive relationship that I was in, I was hoping that that something would happen to the guy that I was dealing with. Or either I had thoughts my own self, you know what I'm saying, of hurting the person. But instead of taking it there, and I even told some male friends about it, they was like, hey, I have some friends. If you want us to do whatever, I said no. I say I don't want y'all involved. But y'all, it goes that deep. And it's like if the abuser can get into your head, if he can get you to fear him, that's where the abuser has the advantage. And see, that was my first time ever being around an abuser on that level. I've been around men who I knew all they could ever be was a friend, but I saw their potential to snap. So I said, oh, nobody, it's just friends for me and you. I'll never get in a relationship with you. No, that won't go down. But I let this one slip past me. But about time that I wanted to get out of it, it was too late, or so I thought. And so, but I realized that listening to Bresha Meadows' situation, she's coming from a child's mind. She's coming from fear. Well, I realized with myself, I went down, a girlfriend of mine had encouraged me to go down to the magistrate and put a restraining order on him. Well, when I put that restraining order on him, plus I moved somewhere where I knew he couldn't find me. I still went to work, but when I put that restraining order on him, he stayed away. Okay. So I didn't see him for at least a year and some change. I didn't want to be seen by him at all. And but I put a 2-year restraining order. But do you know some abusers don't care about that restraining order? They don't care. And where some women, um, they call the police, and you wonder why the woman keeps staying there. She love him. There's hope that he'll change, and it doesn't change. It gets worse. What the abuser does, baby, I'll change. Let's try this again. I love you. I know you love me. I won't do this again. It's a lie, y'all. It's a cycle. But if you ever look like you want to leave, it's a threat. And don't think that when I put that restraining order on the abuser who I was with, that I wasn't concerned that he wouldn't care, because I stayed out of his sight. But he had enough sense, because he had been in jail before, so I know he didn't want to go back to jail. So, but I know if he had saw me in public, because I know how he felt. He prior to me putting the restraining order on, he left some real nasty messages and with threats and stuff like that. And a girlfriend of mine said, "Don't you take?" She said, "Girl, he sound like he want to do something to you." She said, "Don't you take them threats lightly. You need to go put some on him right then and there." But with this young girl with Bresha just couldn't take it, and she took a handgun and she put a bullet into her father's head. Now, y'all may think, okay, well, Chanel, that's insensitive. But Bresha told her mom, say, "Mom, so you don't have to worry no more. Dad is gone." This young lady said, she said, "We don't," she said, you don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about it no more. He's gone. There was a relief inside that young lady. It was like she knew. I don't know that she thought about serving time. She just wanted to get rid of the monster that was in her house. He threatened them on more than one occasion. Bresha got tired of it. This young lady was bold enough to do something that older women going through these abusive situations are scared to do, scared to confront. So what happened was they was getting ready to charge Bresha with like a grown woman, like an adult, until the story got out and people began to rally around and begin to make a public cry. Like, why would y'all put this child in jail when this child been molested by her own father? He's beat a mother. Come to find out on the video, if y'all ever look at it, this man cracked this woman's ribs, bust her head upside the wall, cracked her teeth. It said that he punched the lady so hard, Brisha's mother so hard, cracked her teeth. She said she can hear the crack. She had to get her teeth redone because of that. But she still stayed there because she loved him and she was trying to hope that things would get better. Now, she been there for a long time because Bresha, 14 years old. So she put up with this for more than 14 years through 3 children. Okay. Now, this is one time where, I could say, well, I usually take up for my brothers, and I usually say, well, why are you marrying, a white woman when you can marry your own? But in this case, abuse has nothing to do with color. Abuse is in all nationalities, and I don't condone, just because he married a white woman, I don't condone his abuse toward a white woman. I may have my opinions about black men, marrying a white woman, because usually time the black man either end up dead, or the white woman gets away. But see, in this case, this wasn't it. This man was abusive, not only just to the wife, but his own kids. He started molesting his own daughter, and abusing his other children. So I don't condone abuse. I don't care what color you are. But I understand what Bresha felt like, because when I put that charge on that guy that I was with, I felt, for some reason, I felt relieved, because I had let this guy go on more than one occasion, but he sweet talked his way back in my life, not really knowing that it was going to get worse, which it did. Because this guy, he laid hands on me. And but he didn't know he had a little feisty thing. Y'all, I fought back. I ain't gonna lie and say I didn't fight back, because I did. I back talked him, and even when he called himself laying his hands on me, I fought back. You know what I'm saying? But see, a woman can only fight back but for so much. And the guy that I was with, he had a gun. So abusers do certain things to try to humble you down. But see, the thing is, would they do this to men? I think men who are abusers, that to me, you putting that brute strength on a woman, why don't you put it on a brute man like yourself? See, they ain't gonna mess with, you know, somebody of like mindset. They want that weaker vessel so they could beat you, cuss you out, make you feel like you nothing, and do all these things to you. But when Brescia shot that man, when she told her mama, she said, "Mama," she said, "he gone now. Daddy's gone. He ain't gonna do this to us no more." It's like that child. It's like she checked out, and it's like she said, "I'll deal with the consequences later." Then to hear Meadows, his sisters and his brothers, "Oh no, she ain't had to do that. My brother won't like this." But see, what I hate about it is that family members think that they know their brothers and their sisters. You know them as your brother or as your sister, as a sibling that you grew up with, but you don't know them inside the household. And then half the time, when your sibling is got a family, they can lie in front of us and make us seem like, oh, they family having a lovely, they have a lovely relationship. So Mr. Meadows gave off a false impression to his family, like he was all right. I can understand them crying for him. But women that are abused and children that are abused, 9 times out of 10, they're scared into shut your mouth. Don't you tell nobody that I hit you upside your head. Don't you tell nobody that I'm doing this. Don't tell. It's always shh. You tell them, it's going to be rough for you when you get home. And that's usually the case. So my advice to people who are going through abusive situation is, you have to have you a plan to where you can get out of that. Don't tell the abuser that you're getting ready to leave. Don't tell them that. Y'all need to call a hotline for abuse, get some help, find out how to leave safely, find a place that has a safe house to where they won't disclose where you've gone, and you don't tell them you're gone. And you can't care about your material things. Sometimes you have to change your identity. You have to take a chance and tell the law. But you have to have a plan. Be quiet and leave quietly. And sometimes every situation is uniquely different. You have to pray and ask God how you should deal with it. But it's one thing that you don't do. Don't tell them but you need to tell somebody, a family or a friend. And I'm gonna tell you what else you need: documents. If a man starts hollering and fussing at you, unusually start documenting when that man or that woman start having crazy behavior. Start documenting it. Write down dates, write down how they behaved toward you that day and how you responded to the situation. Document if they cuss you out, document if they push you, document if they punch you, document if they shake you, document if they start telling you you told them you was going to the store to get some grocery and in 30 minutes you'll be back, but you back by 31 minutes. So they fight you because you a minute late. See, whenever you start getting in situations where, nothing satisfies this person, there's an argument, if not every day, every other day that you didn't start. They just lose it for some reason. But y'all, it's spiritual warfare along with physical warfare. Okay, the physical is them abusing you and cussing you out. The spiritual warfare is they have a devil. But you ain't responsible for that. What you have to do is pray and ask God to open the door. And I'm going to tell y'all, when God opened the door for you, y'all better leave and you better keep that door shut and don't give in to the sorrow and sadness that I miss you. I'm not going to do it again. Y'all, is not going to change. I'm telling you, it's not going to change. I'm going to tell you the only thing that's going to end up happening. Either you going to die or they going to die. Or either your whole family, if y'all if you got family, either some of them that they'll come and shoot up the whole house. You have to look for signs. Look for a lack of patience. Look for if they on edge, they can't stand much pressure. But pressure exposes things. So sometimes people who get on your nerves, or sometimes people who snap at you real quick, check that out. They're giving you signs of abusive behavior. You don't come back quick enough, or you come back 5 or 10 minutes later, or even 30 minutes late, and you tell them, well, baby, I was talking with a friend of mine. They have a problem with your family. When they start trying to keep you away from your family, that's when you know you have an issue. See, you have to study. Look up videos that tells you what are the signs when you're in a relationship, or before you get in a relationship. No, signs to detect an abuser. Sometimes, some of us, you just may have to be by yourself. Find out who you are. So actually learn who you are before you jump into a relationship. So that way you're mature enough to see the signs. Don't just be rushing because I'm lonely. I got to have a man or I got to have a woman. Men, y'all have to check out the women. Women who are very impatient with you. They slap you in public, cuss you out in public, tell you you ain't nothing, make you feel less than a man. Men go through it too. Both sexes have to check out the signs. Have to check out the signs. Even in the LGBT community. Okay, though I am a Christian, I don't agree with it, but I can't say anything against y'all lifestyle. But what ain't that I can't say anything against you. God is the only one that can judge us. But my empathy goes out even to the LGBT club because there's abuse even in that arena. Y'all got to be careful. Because how many stories have I heard where lesbians, lovers, they've killed their lover, or the other side, whether it's transgender, whether it's the male side, the homosexual side. There are some people that are impatient with their partners, so it happens in all arenas, whether you heterosexual or whether you in the LGBT community. Look for signs of abuse. Nobody wants to be abused. Nobody wants to live in a house where there's no rest, there's no peace. You can't walk out your door good. You can't look to the left, can't look to the right. Who you looking at? You trying to come on to that man, or you trying to come on to that woman? And it's like you walk yourself into a 4x4 prison, and somebody shuts the cage, and you're locked in it. Scared to tell your family about it. But I just felt led to just talk about the Bresha Meadows case, the young lady. And to be honest with you, I'm not saying she was right for shooting her daddy, but he asked for it. And because I am a Christian and I do love the Lord, some people die and go to hell behind the abuse of their family. There was a case, and I'm gonna share this with you. There was a case I had heard about this here on YouTube. I forgot. Someone was sharing this lady's story. But anyway, there was a man that he was married to a Christian woman, but he was an abuser, and she put up with him for years, where he abused her, cussed her out, did all the you name it that abuser would do. She got tired and she cried out. She said, Father, she said, I'm tired of this. She said, I'm tired. She said, open that door so I can leave. You know, it's like she was done. And she prayed and she asked God. She cried out. I'm pretty sure she cried on other occasions, but this particular time, God said enough. Because sometimes some women actually ain't ready to leave because they're in love with the man. They're thinking that if I just love him more, maybe he'll change. Maybe this time he'll change. And some women are in it for years. They live in it for years. And they think it's okay. Well, not necessarily that it's okay, but that this is what love is. Domestic violence is what it is. And to them, they don't look at it as if it's domestic violence. They look at it as if this just the way he is. He just has temperamental problems. He'll be all right. I'm just gonna love him through this. But anyway, this lady, I was saying to say this here. There comes a time when God hears a woman's cry to where God sees that this man is getting ready to kill this woman. God sees this. God is omnipotent. He is omnipresent, and he's all knowing. Okay? God knows the future. He sees ahead of time. God saw something coming. But she cried out to God. Do you know this man had fell asleep beside his wife? God gave him a dream and showed this man hell. This man had a visitation from God. God told him, he said, if you ever touch your wife again, I mean, there are times God gives you dreams, but there are times I've had visitations. I'm calling it a dream, but there are actual visitations, y'all, where these visitations are so real. It's like I'm sitting here talking to you. God can take your spirit out of your body. I can be sitting here. God can take your spirit out of your body and take you into another realm. And that realm is just as real as this realm right here. Well, God gave him a visitation and warned him. He said, if you ever lay hands on your wife again, he said, you going straight to hell. You going to die that same day. In so many words, you going to die the next time. And you going to open your eyes in hell. This man had a visitation from God, and God showed him hell. He woke up from the dream crying, holding his wife's hand, apologized to his wife, and maybe, just maybe, God saw that this man, I ain't no maybe, God had to have seen that when he confronted this man, that this man would change. He had the option. He had the option to break that woman the next day. But he feared God. He feared that visitation. And it was said that every day he held his wife's hand and he started treating her better after that visitation from God. Now you might say, well, why don't God visit, all abusers? And how come women are in jail, to where they had to kill the man? Y'all, I don't have those answers. I don't. I'm not going to even lie and say I do. Because every situation is good. God sees every situation. He sees it, but God has to be invited, and you have to call on it. Invite God into your situation. When you try to handle it on your own, then you gonna get your should I say, you're gonna get your responses when you try to handle it your way. But when you actually invite the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Chanel, hey, hey, my God, because my God delivered me. I said, Lord, if you get me out of that abusive situation, I'm done with it. And on top of that, God whooped that man behind that handled me the way he did. Now he has a pacemaker. Now he got heart issues. If he raises his hand up at anybody again, somebody can whoop his tail and he might die right there on the spot. Oh, because he has a pacemaker now. See, you'd be surprised when your abusers, do stuff. God allow them to be struck with sickness and disease. He'll strike some of them with stroke, heart attacks, maim and lame your body the way you can't talk, and then you at somebody else's mercy. See, and it don't feel good when the rabbit got the gun. So the moral of that story is that that man changed, and it was said that he held his wife's hand almost every day. He looked at her different. See, even though the abusers may have went through something, that still don't give the abusers right to handle people the way they do. There's always cause and effect, but you still responsible for your behavior. If you act like an animal, well, even animals behave better than that. But if you act like a rabid animal, an abuser, then you deserve to be behind bars because you have no lack of discipline in your life. If all you're going to do is beat on a woman, beat on your child, molest your children, hopefully this video reaches an abuser and hopefully it reaches the abusee. Hopefully it gives you some thought to change your ways. If you're a man, just know that you're physically different from a woman. And when a woman loves you and you take advantage of her love just to abuse her, something's wrong. You don't deserve a family. An abuser does not deserve a family because all you're going to do is abuse your family. But to women out there, I know that there are even some women who feel like, well, if my boyfriend or my husband don't beat me, he don't love me. That means your mindset is twisted because that's not love. When someone lay hands on you, that no way, that is love. That's hate. Somebody hit me, continually holler at me, that ain't love. And that's not love for you. But that's the way maybe you come up in a household where you seen your mom get abused and you thought that's just the way life is. And if you get a good man, you don't know how to keep a good man because you used to somebody hollering at you and screaming at you. That's because you never had true love before. So back to Bresha Meadows. If there is a young lady or a Bresha's age, or you're in a household where your mom is married to a man that's abusive to her, and you don't know how to you don't know how to handle the situation because you're scared to tell on you. I would say talk to people at your school, get the ball rolling, let somebody know what's going on so that you won't have to get to a situation where you have to kill somebody and then you may have to serve time behind that. At least start putting it in record what's going on in your house. It's nowhere around it. You have to tell somebody that you trust, Somebody, and then that somebody hopefully will go to someone that's able, excuse me, y'all, that's able to lead you in the right direction concerning being abused. Because if not, it's sad that some children have to take up for their mother because their mother's scared. Somebody in the household gonna have to do something, gonna have to step up. But be wise as you step up. Being wise is telling someone that you trust and getting the law involved. And be ready for the mothers, for the women that you're dating. I'm not just talking to the teenagers and who's scared to tell anybody because their mama getting beat, but even to the women that's being abused. Y'all have to step up. If you got children, remember, your children sees this every day, and they're gonna think, well, is this the way life's supposed to be? Do you want to keep that picture in front of your child? All I can say is that if you value your life, if you value your children's life, even the men, y'all have to do something too. If you're in an abusive relationship with a woman, ease your way out of there and stop trying, to save a woman that don't want to be saved. A woman that's lying on you, threatening you, if you leave, I'm gonna tell the cops you hit me, or I'll kill you if you leave me, and then she'll cry bloody murder after she done killed you, and she claims self-defense. Y'all need help too, brothers. I don't care what nationality. It's not just about black and white. This is about all nationalities. Get help. Call an abuse hotline. Get the law involved on your side. Save yourself, save your children, and save your family, because everybody could possibly be in danger when you're dealing with someone who does not care. They just go for broke. They're like, I don't care, I'll lose everything, but you're gonna die today. Who wants to live a life like that? So anyway, I love y'all. I just want to share this uh, 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 about Bresha Meadows. To end it with this, she had served just a year. They gave her a year, but I think she did like 10 months inside the prison, and the rest was parole. Like whatever, after that year, she served 10 months, so 2 months she was paroled. And now she's older now. This happened back in what, maybe 2016 or less. You'd have to look at the video, look up Bresha Meadows. But now, she's doing good. She's a spokesman, for domestic violence in high schools. And I'm pretty sure she's probably doing more than that now. But her story is powerful. And the judicial system was getting ready to treat her like an adult until, there was an outcry to do not put that child in prison. Don't, because that child was trying to save her family because her dad had the gun up under the couch. So that tells you that he used that gun to threaten them, and he threatened to kill them. So y'all, if you don't know Jesus as your personal savior, now is the day of salvation, and salvation is your strength. Invite God into your life. He's a father. He loves us. And when you have him in your life, ladies and gentlemen, God will lead you, God will guide you and warn you and let you know what you need to do. So if you don't know Christ, invite him into your life. He loves you. Now is the day of salvation. Choose whom you will serve. Well, I love y'all, and just recognize God is there for you. He loved you. Call on him and he will answer. He says, seek him while he might, seek me while I might be found. And this is what God does. He loves you. Jesus died for us. Jesus said, ask anything in his name and it shall be done. So when you give your life to him, you have access to all that children of God have access to. Healing, provision. The Bible say, when the righteous cry, God's ear is open to the righteous cry. So you have access to the Father's ear when you accept the Lord Jesus Christ in your life. So call on the Lord and he'll help you. I hope this video blessed you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And I hope it bless you. And remember, your life does matter. All life matters, especially when it comes to abuse. All right. Love you all. Be blessed.